You often refer to this as like a magic box.
Yeah.
And you're like, how cool we get to get paid for a living to operate a magic box.
A camera, yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. Hi, I'm Brittany.
And I'm Alex.
And you're
in the Editing Castle.
Today's a really special shoddy episode. Shoddy. It is a short episode. And the reason why is because today kicks off our big trip. The biggest trip we've ever taken.
I'm so excited.
The biggest trip in terms of timing. How many days will we be away from our editing castle?
Well, editing castle is truly a mindset, so we won't be away from it. But physical editing castle, we will be gone for 15 days. Brittany, what are you working on today in your editing castle?
I was working on a content retreat gallery from California 2 years ago.
A couple years ago.
2 years ago.
Time flies.
Time flies. And if you don't prioritize your content retreat content, it does fall by the wayside.
By the wayside.
By the wayside. And I was using Aftershoot to get through the enormous amount of images that I took.
We were so happy.
I was just shutterbugging. I was so excited.
I love the photos.
I'm glad that you like them. Alex was also helping me in the editing castle go through them because there really are so many. And when you have a big gallery like that, it can almost feel like you experience fatigue. They're cute. The photos are great. Mm-hmm. But Brittany was having fun.
As you should. I feel like when you go to a content retreat, you should give yourself permission to have fun. So bring extra cards.
I was just going to say, so having fun is you need card space. We're about to have a real good time.
This is such an exciting time for us because like you mentioned about the big trip, we get to go and be a part of not just one retreat, but 2 retreats.
Yes.
And I'm getting really excited. Guys, I got a new lens.
Ooh.
I can't wait to tell you all about it. It's the 24-105,
yes.
The 2.8Z.
There is no lens quite like this one. There are so many different focal lengths, and to have 2.8 available at all of those focal lengths feels criminal.
It feels
illegal.
It truly feels wild. So I'm really excited to bring that to the PNW, and along with my Fujifilm, I'm going to have so much fun, and I can't wait to see what we create because I'm going to let you use it too for photos.
Yeah, it's mostly meant to be a videography lens, but I'm very interested to see if it's something that I might want to invest in before the wedding season for my photography. Now, I do love my 28-70 f2.
Absolutely.
She is a golden lens.
She is.
Usually keep it on the entire wedding day.
That's what we're using right now.
And it's sharp, it's clear, it's so good in low light. So it will take a lot to make me want to transition, but who knows, man. I might be retiring the 28-70 and investing in a 24-105 to be determined.
I think the 24-105 is lighter.
Yeah, I think so.
That might be...
The weight would be nice.
That might be part of the equation.
And it's such a nice lens, and it's a zoom, so I really don't think I'll experience loss of quality, which is always the most important thing for me when I choose a lens. And that's really awesome because I think for a long time I put the 28-70 on a pedestal because I was like, that 2.0, that's just incredible quality.
It is. I feel like it still has a space for during portraits.
Yeah.
You know, just throw that puppy on there. But I'm really excited. So stay tuned, guys.
I want to tell you a little bit more about the 2 content retreats. The first one that we were invited to come to was to be keynote speakers and models. And we were so excited. That one is hosted by Till Death Do We Art Society. Shout out to Shelby.
Shout out, Shelby.
We're so excited. And then my dear friend, Hannah Kutner, she is someone that I met through content retreats as well. I went to hers in April of last year. Mm-hmm. She had mentioned that she needed some extra help just managing some of the fun things that go into hosting.
There's a lot.
And she asked if we were available because she wanted someone else to be present. And so we got to get all excited about the timing of the universe. We were already going to be in the PNW. So we got to switch our flights and extend our trip. And now this will be our longest trip that we've ever taken away from home.
And this is my first time in Washington. So I'm really excited. Brittany has told me so many things about how beautiful just everywhere you look is, and I can't wait to experience that for myself.
Yeah, it's going to be so special. But more than the space and more than the content, I'm so looking forward to meeting so many of our friends. Yes. We're now in all of the group chats, and there are so many names that I'm so excited to finally get to meet in person. One of them is actually someone that we did a mentorship with. Shout out to Shelly. And to have the opportunity to meet her in the wild, this just feels so wonderful. Hannah has pulled together, Shelby has pulled together some of our favorite people from all over the world. And this is just going to be so cool to be in that creative container with our community.
So thank you to those two ladies for allowing us to be part of such an awesome event. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, so looking forward to it. So wish us luck. Send all the safe travel vibes.
Yes.
Today we kick off our trip by going to drop off our sweet little senior pup,
we
Nick.
Have to drop off the boat.
Long story short, this is going to be a shorter episode, but I wanted to actually share a little bit more about why we started the podcast in the first place. And to kick it off, I would like to ask Alex what Editing Castle means to him, and if he remembers the beginning of planning such an exciting creative adventure. What inspired us to want to start a podcast?
Oh, this is a great question. And this has been a dream of ours for a long time. We did live in our van for 5 years, which is not a very acoustic setting. We definitely tried a bunch of different times to record. We had a bunch of different obstacles and some adversity.
Some outtakes.
You can't have the van running because that'll ruin the audio. So if it's cold, you're going to be cold. And if it's hot, you're going to be sweating.
Really hot.
I think of the Andy Menino video.
Oh, yes. I will know. Coming in hot.
But he also recorded that. And he's like, I have to turn off the air conditioning during the take.
Oh, you're right. I remember watching that.
It was like a super hot part of the year. And he's like,
dedication to the craft.
And he's like, but I need that quality, man.
I love that.
Those were some hurdles. We eventually got here. So thank you guys for your patience.
Yeah.
When we talk about the beginning, for me, it was a mindset thing. And this is definitely a theme of our content because mindset is so important. We always knew that we didn't want to think about going to edit these beautiful images and any of the content associated with posting for your brand or, engaging with the community. We always wanted to have a positive spin on whatever we were associated with because we feel like those places that people go, they want to be happy when they're there. It's so difficult to go to that place, feel inspired if there's a bunch of negative content. One of the biggest things that we heard early on in our career is that everyone is in their editing cave.
Yes, and that was always so challenging for me because in my mind, I want to love the work that I do. To live a meaningful life, you have to have meaningful relationships and meaningful work. And if you aren't romanticizing what you do, if you're not falling in love with what your responsibilities are, it's so easy to get caught up in that negativity trap of, I have to do this. And originally, we really wanted to name the podcast What the Flow.
Yeah, that was definitely a good option.
Aperture, like, ha, ha, ha. And then one day we had a walk and a talk, and Alex was like, maybe WTF isn't exactly positive branding.
We also went through Photo Pro podcast. We actually bought that domain.
Yeah, we did buy that domain. We wanted it to be clear for SEO, Photo Pro podcast. Like, we want people to come here because either they are a professional or they want to be one. It felt like that one was a pretty good. It was okay.
It was all right. But then one day we had a moment where we said to each other, hey, I'm going to be in the editing castle.
Alex said it to me, actually.
Okay.
I have to give you credit.
Okay.
You've actually single-handedly named all of our amazing things, and I'm really proud of you for that.
Thank you.
Yes.
But we wanted to have a space where you could be in your editing castle. You could be at your computer. It doesn't matter if you're in cozies or you're in business casual. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You could plug in and listen to us talk about topics that are relevant to you, maybe are helping you, maybe sharing some context about something that we've gone through that you might not have to go through in order to learn the same thing we learned.
Exactly.
And we really wanted there to be a positive place for you to go and work on your edits.
Yeah, I loved that we were talking about it because we saw so much editing cave culture. It was in the heat of busy season.
Yes.
And what helped us to come up with the name and the concept of what this was going to become was reading someone's story and seeing another one and seeing another one. And just every time we would ask ourselves, like, how did that make me feel? Mm-hmm. And I think you should ask yourself this whenever you're interacting with content. Ask yourself this when you're interacting with our content. How does this make me feel?
That's a good perspective.
And if it lights you up and it makes you feel good, please continue to enjoy that content. But if you do have an adverse reaction to something, notice that. I want you to evaluate that and then make adjustments. So Alex and I, we saw the editing cave and we turned to each other and we're like, that did not feel good.
No.
Not only did it not feel good to us as photographers trying to connect with our friends, it kind of made us think like, okay, maybe that person is inherently negative. But it also felt strange to jump into the perspective of maybe their clients and to see a story or a post, right? Because people can put this in their caption too.
Yeah.
And to share these beautiful once in a lifetime moments, but then to taint it with this negative caption, like I had to do these edits. I'm so busy. I'm so overwhelmed. It didn't feel like the two were aligned. And it felt like the negativity actually took away the sparkle of.
It was really important for us to maintain a positive, it's almost like a client-facing perspective on your Instagram or whatever platform you're posting most often.
Yeah.
Because even if it's fall in the Midwest, and if you're from around here, you understand everybody wants to get those fall colors. And even though you might feel all of the pressure of all of the content that you've created in the last week, peak week.
We get it.
Peak week?
Yes.
That's not necessarily the best way to market yourself to prospective clients. And sometimes people wait to give their reviews until they get their photos back.
Yes.
So then if they are waiting until they get their whole gallery back, then this could actually influence how they feel about this full product and full service.
It could be detrimental to that 5-star review.
Yeah.
Here's my question for you, Alex. Don't you feel like that editing cave culture comes from self-deprecation? This person is so inundated with, from the outside looking in, this person is so inundated with galleries because maybe they overbooked themselves, because they maybe undervalued themselves.
Yeah.
And so it almost kind of becomes this
see what you're
projection of lack of balance. Do you feel like that's a component of it?
Definitely.
And that's why people feel so comfortable doing that negativity online?
That's a really good point. That probably is a reflection, and their subconscious is like, I have to get these feelings and these words out. And sadly, it might come out that way. You're right.
What would you recommend to someone who is feeling that? Like maybe they find this episode in the heat of busy season and they're like, man, I really need someone to talk to. And obviously your Instagram full of photographer friends, you have this shared experience of being inundated with data. And what would you recommend to them in order to take that offline? And how can they process that in private so they can show up in public in a more uplifting way?
I think it has to be centered in gratitude. Like you have to be really grateful to have the opportunity to do this. Some people are, myself, like I remember peak week and I would be pouring concrete and I would be sore from the end of the day. My back would hurt, and then I would get home and I would have some sour energy because I'm not feeling that great. And any type of interaction with you is definitely tainted if I'm feeling that way and I'm bringing that home with me. And it really is a privilege to use a camera and create with couples, families, engagements, weddings, whatever it is that you do. I'm so happy that you get to do it. And just try and find a way to be grateful for the work that's in front of you. Like be happy that you're busy. Like be happy that
it's a good problem to have.
It's a good problem to have. You were such an in-demand photographer that you were very busy during peak week. That's a great thing. And if we take more time to really take a step back and process how lucky we are to be able to create for a living, I think that makes it a little bit easier. And if you need to, grab a nice coffee or something,
Get
celebrate
a special
yourself,
drink.
Celebrate yourself
I'm working hard
while you're editing in your editing castle.
Well, Alex, you mentioned a few really great ideas, and I want to get even more narrow just for a bit.
Yeah.
Now, you've said find ways to be grateful. You've said give yourself different ways to show that gratitude. Give me a couple of examples of things that we say out loud that are audible in our space that are speaking to the gratitude. I'll kick it off. You often refer to this as like a magic box.
Yeah.
And you're like, how cool we get to get paid for a living to operate a magic box.
A camera, yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. So give me another couple of examples of things that we just say that help us to...
Well, we're really big on affirmations. Yeah. So I would say something like, I'm so grateful for this session that we're about to go and create at. I'm so grateful that we get to interact with... For some reason, I'm just thinking of Emily and Ben.
I know.
Like, I'm so grateful that I get to have an evening with Emily and Ben.
Yes.
And I mean, the coolest thing, like, yes, our name is Chasing Sunsets, but you literally get to always see the sunset. Like,
it's a really good point. I mean, look at that, you guys. You always get to be working during the most magical hour of light of the day. You get to be outdoors.
You're an ambassador of light.
You're
like,
an
that's so
ambassador of
cool.
light.
You don't have to go and I know a couple of my friends, they were into HVAC or some type of service,
Plumbing.
and you have to be crawling through nasty stuff.
You can't even imagine the level of like gritty.
And then you look a little further and you're like, that's not good for your health if you don't have like a respirator on or something, and then you're in a whole new
How
thing.
much danger are you in with a camera and taking pictures? Most often you're pretty safe. Like,
I
it's a safe
actually
job.
will tell you that the most dangerous part about working with a camera is backing up while you're creating content.
Backing up, or if it was a photographer targeted crime. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm just saying, backing up, you got to practice, got to work backwards.
You do. You got to
walk
practice
backwards.
that. Now, I think another really fun one is just like we've been doing. I'll say as I'm working on the gallery, and it's negative self-talk. You have to remove the language that lives inside of your brain that's keeping you in a state of negativity. The words you choose, especially inside your own head and your heart, those are your home. That's where your brain gets to live. Yeah. And so if you can build a beautiful home with beautiful words, your pretty words, then your brain's going to live a happier and healthier life. So here's an example. I'm working on my computer. I look at these beautiful images. I will say, I can't wait to post these on Instagram. I can't wait to share this beautiful portfolio on my website. I can't wait for the couple to see these beautiful images I created of their lives. Alex and I will just randomly geek out and be like, look at that beautiful photograph of this couple. Like, look how tender that kiss is. I want you to give genuine praise to your work as you're working on it, because if you don't, your quiet time at the computer, if it's not dedicated to consuming content, you're going to be creating thoughts. And your thoughts might be, he has a blue shirt and I have to make it white. This is annoying. Her skin isn't perfect. I have to make all of this extra adjustment in order to remove skin texture. You start to create the problems that you then have to try to process before you show up online positively. So give yourself permission to just give positivity and positive, genuine praise to the work you're working on.
I also really enjoy just mentally walking myself through the fact that a lot of people don't have this content of their lives delivered to them the way that we deliver photos very often. It's usually the last time that they did photos was senior photos. And
that's crazy.
We're talking now, people are in their mid-20s when they're on to the next chapter in engagements. And it's just really cool to be able to show them, this is what you look like in this chapter. And I'm really happy that you're having a good time.
I want to get morbid for just a moment, because I think sometimes when editing cave culture comes out, it reminds me that we do need to take a step back and think about our why. Our why in business can be different. Every business owner is different. This is just mine. I'm very aware of how important photographs and content are because I have lost loved ones. I've been to plenty of funerals of very close humans who I love and miss every day. And one part of funerals that I will always love is the photo boards. And when you get to walk up to these photo boards where pictures of their lives have been hand selected, they've been pinned with love to tell the story of who we are honoring and mourning on the day of this funeral. I always go back to that when I'm creating these pictures. This is timeless content. Even though it's 2025 and everyone's a photographer and there's iPhone content of every given moment of your life, you have to remember that professional photography is such a privilege to a lot of people, and it is not something they get to do often. And remind yourself that your photographs could easily end up on those photo boards to share the story of a person's life. And so that helps me to stay so far away from the editing cave kind of culture and instead just stay rooted in gratitude. It is an editing castle. I'm creating for this person's legacy.
I mean, it is. It's truly a legacy piece that you get to create, and having that mindset that the next click of your camera, of your magic box, could be someone's best photo is really a powerful thing to think about.
Yeah. I just wanted to share my gratitude for each and every one of you supporting us.
Thank you for listening.
Yeah, thank you for listening. There have been so many messages, so many reviews, and so many amazing emails about how the podcast is making an impact, which makes it so fun for us. I love that we get to create episodes. Would you agree, Alex? Like creating episodes together is cool.
Yeah.
But isn't it hearing the impact of the episodes that really makes it super sweet?
Yeah, it really does make it sweet, and it makes it very sentimental for us because this is a passion project of ours. And to hear that we are having a positive impact on you, the listener. That's literally the reason that we're doing this, to be the mentors that we never had.
Yeah.
It just really means so much to us that we're having an impact on your journey wherever you are in the big scheme of things. We really appreciate you listening, and we appreciate your love and support.
Yes. One of the messages that we received recently that has been on our heart comes from Sam, and I wanted to play it for you because it means so much to us, and I hope that it will mean something to you too.
Hi. Oh my gosh. Thanks for responding. So cool. I also wanted to say really quickly, this is going to be so dramatic of me, but I truly believe that your podcast is life-changing. I think you guys are changing lives out here. I found your podcast a few weeks ago. I actually only stumbled upon it because I was looking for episodes from anyone on Aftershoot.
Aftershoot.
And I dove like a little deeper in, and I started listening to your stuff. And there was a podcast that you did, or there was an episode you did. It was called You Can Do Hard Things. And it just like really stuck with me. I'm on my own mental, physical wellness journey of my own.
Good for you.
And
Congrats.
That was like the motivation that I needed to just kind of like get started again. Like taking care of my body, taking care of my brain, taking care of everything that goes into being a good person and a productive member of society and a good wedding photographer and all that stuff. I have such a deep appreciation for your mindset and the way that you guys talk about each other and weddings and work and just life in general. It is so inspiring. Again, I have such a deep admiration for you guys. I love your mindset, and I am so excited to keep listening to you guys. Thanks.
No, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Sam.
Put him back. Back.
I mean, we do it for that. We do it for literally all of you that have reached out and taken time out of your day to leave a review, to leave a rating, to share a voice message. Thank you. That is the best affirmation, to know that what we're doing is what we're supposed to be doing.
Yes, that we're exactly where we're supposed to be. So
congratulations, Sam.
I just want to say thank you, Sam. Congrats on your journey.
Yes.
We are cheering you on at the top of our lungs, and we are creating these episodes for you.
Mm-hmm.
And anytime that you guys have a request or some kind of a topic that you want us to focus on, or anything specific you need from us, let us know.
Please.
But in the meantime, we're going to keep creating with all of you in mind, with so much love in our hearts. And thank you for listening. Okay.
If this episode was meaningful to you and you loved learning about our why and why this podcast is now something that's so important in our lives, please leave a review or rating. Please leave a review or a rating on whatever platform you're listening to. It means so much to us, and we appreciate your energy, your support, your love, your time so much. So thank you.
Now, I would love it if you share the episode that has an impact on you to your story. I don't know why I can't do this. So stupid.
Thanks, Sam. No, really, thanks.
I would like it if you could share these episodes to your story, because that is how I have found some of my favorite podcasts. Just keep doing it right now. And it would be so cool if other people don't send them this episode. It would be so cool if you shared this episode to your story so other people could enjoy the show and we could allow Editing Castle to continue to grow organically. So thank you. And please tag us so we see it. And we love you guys. And we
love
it.
you. We hope that this episode was helpful and that you got some stuff done in your editing castle while you were listening.
Okay, so with that, we're so happy you stopped by.
And you are always welcome back.
And we'll see you next time
in the editing castle.
Dance, have a